Good morning. This past Sunday we kicked off our sermon series, St. Luke's on Broadway. It's always such a fun sermon series as we look at the gospel message through the lens of Broadway musicals. Last Sunday we looked at the musical Phantom of the Opera, had such a great time together in worship. But this Sunday we're going to continue that series looking at the musical Matilda. Now, this is a fun musical. It's one that we actually did in our Poteet Theater back in the spring and had our children performing this musical. It was so much fun to get to see, and the kids did such a great job performing it. I'm excited because we're going to have kids from the cast from our Poteet Theater getting to perform in our worship services at both campuses this Sunday. It's going to be a great time to get to have fun with our kids as they bring some of this music to life for us and as we get to look at these gospel messages. But if you were here in church last Sunday or you heard the message, you heard Dr. Long talking about what it means to take off our mask, to understand that we are seen and loved just for who we are by God. That's what we're going to be looking at throughout this sermon series with each of the shows, because they all seem to have this common theme throughout there. What does it mean to be known and to be loved? As we look at the musical Matilda, it's certainly a theme that you see there. You see this story of a little girl named Matilda, and she has a special gift. She's very bright, she's intelligent, she loves to read, but she does have a special gift as well that nobody else knows about. And yet Matilda seems to be so very unloved by her quote-unquote family, those who are supposed to be caring for her and raising her. She has trouble finding her place. It's not until there's a teacher that comes along, Miss Honey. And Miss Honey is the one who really sees Matilda for who she is. And Miss Honey is the one who begins to show compassion and empathy and kindness and love towards Matilda. That's really what Miss Honey does for all of her students in her classroom, but she especially sees Matilda as this bright, special girl. It was the kindness of Miss Honey that would change Matilda's life. It would help her to see a better future for herself and to be able to work to make that possible. And in the end, it was because Miss Honey was kind to Matilda that Matilda would be kind to Miss Honey. The two of them would find that both of their lives were changed because of this kindness. As I was thinking about Miss Honey in the musical Matilda, it got me thinking about Jesus in the Gospel of Matthew. In Matthew's Gospel, whenever Jesus is out teaching and traveling around, there's one day that Jesus is teaching and suddenly the crowd start to bring their children to him. They want Jesus to bless their children, lay his hands upon them. But as they start bringing the children forward, it's the disciples who rebuke the people, who are trying to keep the children away. You see, in Jesus' day, children were kind of a second thought in many ways. We don't really ever read much about children in the Bible. We certainly don't ever really hear their voice in the Bible. They were not, obviously, in any positions of power or influence in society. No, in many ways, they were just sort of background characters. Ones to be kept away, ones to be kept quiet. But it was Jesus who spoke up as he saw his disciples keeping the children back. And in Matthew chapter 19, he would write, "Then little children were being brought to him in order that he might lay his hands on them and pray. The disciples spoke sternly to those who brought them, but Jesus said, 'Let the little children come to me, and do not stop them, for it is to such as these that the kingdom of heaven belongs.' And he laid his hands on them and went on his way." Jesus saw how much these children were loved by God, and he showed them how much he loved them. He took the time to see them for who they really are, not just for who they could become or the value that they might bring to the world someday. He saw the value of their lives that day, and he took the time to love them, to bless them, to care for them, to show them kindness. Miss Honey saw how much Matilda had to contribute to the world, not just someday, but that day. And she took the time to show kindness and compassion. We have an opportunity to do that as well. Whether it's with our own children or grandchildren or other children that might be in our sphere of influence, we have an opportunity every day to help children, to love them, to help them to know that they are loved just for who they are. We have an opportunity right now through school supply drives, or getting involved in mentoring programs or tutoring programs. There's so many ways that we can be a part of blessing children's lives. And I think what we find is that when we do that, just like Miss Honey found, our lives are blessed as well. But it's not just that we're blessed from helping children, we get to be a blessing. And it's when children begin to know that they are loved and cared for just for who they are, begins to change their lives for the next generation. And then the ripple effects then begin to go out into the world. Oh, I believe that it's by showing kindness and love to children, we begin to change the world. I hope today you find an opportunity to bless the life of a child. Together, we can change the world. I hope you have a great day.